What's going on, YouTube? We're back again with another video. Today I'm gonna have a conversation with you guys. No script, nothing, just real conversation. I just want to talk to you guys about my journey as a natural bodybuilder. And also, if you intend to compete as a natural bodybuilder, some of the things you should consider or know before you compete. You know, I know it could look glamorous on the outside, and you know, somebody's goal has been trying to chase a pro card for years and it hasn't happened. And some people do it in the shortest possible time and it happens for them. So everybody's goal or journey would be completely different. But there's some things that you should know, especially if you plan on competing, especially as a natural bodybuilder too. So I'm gonna tell you guys about my experience as a natural bodybuilder, what my journey has been. And after that, I'll tell you some of the things you should consider. As you guys already know, I just turned pro a couple of months ago. So far, I've competed twice. My first show was a regional show. Second show was a pro qualifier in Pittsburgh, which I won, and I got my pro card. I'm currently 2.5 weeks out from my first pro show, or first show as a pro natural bodybuilder. The goal is to do a show in November. The Bewilder Naturals is the biggest natural show. Whoever wins qualifies to Mr. Olympia 2026. So right now the goal is to compete in the next 2.5 weeks to qualify for Bewilders. When we win that show, I like to use when, not if, because at the end of the day, I got to believe in myself, right? I know there's going to be a lot of great competitors coming out there, but sometimes you got to believe in the work you put in, and it's not about trying. Sometimes people think, oh, you're too cocky and this and that. No, I say things like that because I know I've worked over the past couple of years. I've been training for over 14 years now. Like, we'll put some before and afters in there. I started training around 2010. We're in 2025 now, so going on 15 years of me training. I never missed more than, 3 days in a row the past 10 years. Even when I'm sick, the second, third day I'm going to the gym. When I'm on vacation, I'm working out. So gym has been part of my life, and I've been a fitness coach, trainer for over 10 years. I've been doing this for a while. And it was an interesting journey, especially with somebody that work out. I used to have the flexibility to eat whatever I want. The nutrition was one of the most hardest part for me, and I think it's one of the most important things that you should know, because I'm African. Majority of our food are carbs, and with bodybuilding, especially when it comes to, like, you know, peaking properly and all of that, the main thing that we pull out first is your carbs. So the whole idea of that is, like, they pull the carbs, so we deplete the like glycogen stores. You lose a lot of water weight. You lose a lot of water weight. Then during peak week, that's when, like, the day before the show, they put all the carbs back in, fill the glycogen stores up. That makes you look bigger. And then sometimes if you eat too much, you overspill, or if you don't get enough, you look flat. So it's a whole science behind it, which genuinely I'm still learning more about. I'm not an expert yet, you know, so I'm not going to do one show and say, oh, I'm an expert in bodybuilding, so I'm going to help you compete. I want to learn as much as I can, because I feel like there's future in natural bodybuilding, because we've gotten to a point where you got guys working out for 4 months, 6 months max, and then they want to compete, and then they feel like they've hit their potential. So they automatically want to get to a point where they take enhancements, and we got a lot of younger guys getting on enhancement when they don't even need it. You know, and I'm very big on that. And I'm trying to go as far as possible with the natural bodybuilding as possible. That is why I want to qualify to Olympia as a natural bodybuilder, because I know it's not a lot of people that's qualified to the Olympia as a natural bodybuilder, you know. So just to make it there, see how well I do. I'm not being delusional, you know. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to qualify to the Olympia, go in there and win the title against all these guys, because it's not a separate Olympia. It's not like a natural Olympia. So I just found out we're going to be competing in the open with everybody else, like all the big names and everything like that. But just to make it as an Olympian, as a natural bodybuilder, is a big accomplishment. So right now, that's one of the main goals, or what I'm trying to do, and see where that journey takes me. Once I get there and I know that, okay, I'm doing pretty well and all of that, then we'll see where this goes. And it's not the end all be all for me. You know, it's still a journey that I'm pushing for, and I'm grinding towards, and I'm working hard to get there. And countless hours of cardio, the nutrition, the sleep, the mental games. And let's be real, like, being a natural bodybuilder, you have to understand that there's going to be a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to like recovery. When somebody's enhanced, they recover really fast because of all the PEDs and the stuff they take. If you're a natural bodybuilder and you're not getting the proper amount of sleep, you're not sleeping properly, you're gonna feel it, even in your workouts, your energy levels, you're tired majority of the time. And regardless of like, even if you're getting the amount of sleep, because you're eating less food and you're not recovering properly, it's gonna affect your workouts and everything like that. And once you are on a diet, you're definitely gonna lose a little bit of strength. Like even people who are enhanced, once your body fat gets super low, you're tired majority of the time. They call this something called the prep brain. Like you're forgetting stuff, and it affects your personal life in a way because you pull away from people because you're so focused on the setting goal. So the social part too comes in because you're gonna have to pull back on a lot of things. You can't be out drinking every night. I love to party, I love to party. Before bodybuilding, I was working out every day, but I still enjoy life and still go out with my friends. I could drink like, I used to drink a lot. Now I don't drink as much. So lifestyle changes also comes in. And another thing that comes to play when it comes to like finances, that's also another big major thing, because if you're competing and you don't have the finances, right? If you're not a top level bodybuilder where you have sponsors and anything like that, a lot goes into it. So if you don't have the finances, I wouldn't advise you to compete, because let's say you're doing a show out of town. Even if it's a local show, you have to do registration. You pay for tanning. You got to pay for, if you want footage from videos and pictures, you need to pay for that. All of that is coming out of pocket. And if let's say if your show is outside your state, you're flying, hotels, everything that goes into it. And even if you travel and you do the show and you don't place all that money, you don't get that back. You don't get return on investment. Yes, you might get to, if you have the passion for it, you get some sense of accomplishment because you did it. You put your mind to something, so which is really good. But sometimes it does play a toll on you, because when it comes to finances, a lot goes. Even when it comes to your food, groceries every week, because eating healthy is not cheap. And then let's say like you eating a lot of protein and eggs. We all know the price of eggs these days and all these other stuff. So it goes up there. So finance is one of the biggest things. So you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're trying to make ends meet and then you take that burden on yourself in respect to when it comes to competing. Another thing that I would say is training wise, because once I was training before, my training was a little bit more flexible, especially after I did my first show. You get to learn your weaknesses and some of the things that you need to focus on. So you need to be able to make adjustments when it comes to your training and track everything. Let's say your strength. You need to know what it is you're doing and how you're getting stronger. Some of the things you need to work on. You see your weaknesses. Okay, well, I feel like I need more detail in my back. I need more detail in my hamstring. So now your programming has to match those things. It's not just a sport where you could just get up and go and then just wing it. You have to have a plan in place to be able to get there. But one thing I'll say is make sure you're enjoying the journey. It comes with a lot of ups and downs, but if you're not enjoying it, it's going to be hard to continue, especially when you're waking up every day to do cardio every morning, making sure you eat everything, track every single thing. It could get a little overwhelming. So once you understand these things and what you're going in for, you know what to expect. Like currently, my prep is not as bad because I know what to expect. The first one was, I'm going to be 100% with you guys, that should kick my ass, bro. Like I was struggling. And to go from somebody who wasn't doing cardio as consistent, I mean, what helped me is I used to teach dance and fitness classes. So the endurance and everything like that was there. But to do cardio every day, to some point you're doing 90 minutes to 2 hours of cardio every day, it could get draining, especially if you're eating less food. So you're tired majority of the time. But these are some of the things you should know. And a lot of time we glamorize the physique, and then you get to a point where your physique looks great. You're in shape, but you're tired all the time mentally. And then sometimes you compare yourself with other people, especially who's going to compete. And in comparison, they say it's a thief of joy, because you're like, oh shit, I've been working super hard for 16 weeks. And then you see somebody else like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat that person. Trust me, I still feel that way sometimes. People might be like, oh, you're already in good shape. Sometimes you have to be realistic, especially when you see other people, oh shit, I need to work harder, I feel like I'm in a good position, but sometimes we get comfortable. So seeing that also should motivate you And then sometimes it can put a lot of pressure on you if you're not a mentally tough person. I've always loved bodybuilding. I've been training for over 14, going on 15 years now. So bodybuilding has always been a part of me. So even before I became pro, I always loved bodybuilding. And I never was a big fan of getting on stage, but you also have to understand that you have to have the love for it. A lot of time people think as soon as you get on stage and you win, you're going to get this coming at you, you're going to get this from it. And sometimes you might win. Yeah, you might win a regional show and it will take you years to turn pro, or some people turn pro and don't even go nowhere with it, or it doesn't take them anywhere, because a lot of people want that status of, oh, I'm a pro bodybuilder, but not everybody's going to become the top level bodybuilder. And that's why I keep saying, I don't know if this is something I'm going to do for the rest of the time, or I'm going to become a professional bodybuilder for the rest of because right now I'm just enjoying the moment. I'm enjoying the journey, but anything can happen. You might get to a point where you realize, especially with the natural bodybuilding, we do have a cap, because I feel like, especially if you put somebody who is enhanced next to me, who weighs around 218 right now on stage, and I'm weighing 218 right now as a natural, they may look way huge than me because they have a lot of lean muscle tissue because of all the enhancement as compared to you as a natural bodybuilder. If you want to stay in natural bodybuilding lane, yes, but just know that there's a cap, especially to compete at the top level, like Olympia status and all these other levels. You need to be enhanced to be able to rub shoulders with these guys. So me right now, I'm just doing it for the love of it. I don't know where that is going to take me or where this journey is going to take me. So because I love it, I'm still doing it. Even my friends was like, bro, you said the first prep was trash. Why are you doing it again? That shit was, I'm like, I don't know. For some reason, it gave me a sense of structure. I enjoyed the structure that it came with. I wake up every day, I did my cardio, I'm staying on my diet. And fuck it, I love the way I felt. Like, I haven't been this lean for the past couple of years I've been training. So it got to a point, I liked the way that I look. Even when I had the little 2-3 months break, I still was doing cardio every day, because after I started doing it, I liked doing the cardio every morning. So it became part of my routine, and I stayed lean. Like, before I did my first show, I was at like 240. When I started prep, I was around 230. This time, I finished my show, I went up to like 235. And I liked it there because I was about like 11.5, maybe 12% body fat around that. And I could maintain that. It's more realistic. So that's also some of the things that you learn from it. Just know that sometimes you got to compete just for the love of it. And have in the back of your mind, you might not make it to the top. Some people would have that determination to get there, and you might get there, or you might not. Let's be realistic. Just because you stepped on stage don't mean you're going to become the next C-bump. So have that in your mind, and then compete just for the love of it and see where the journey takes you. Yeah, and somebody asked, well, does being on prep affect your sex drive and everything like that? Me personally, as a natural bodybuilder, I didn't see any difference when it comes to sex drive. The only thing I would say is when I was getting closer to the show, especially when you're eating less food and you're tired, you don't have the energy to do it. But when it comes to like not having the sex drive, if I'd say I didn't have the sex drive, then I'll be lying, because I did have the sex drive. I did have a little bit of fun, during prep. And one thing that people ask me a lot is like, oh, does having sex affect muscle gain? I don't believe it does. And you could still, because look at it this way. Sometimes when people take a lot of this enhancements and all of that, your testosterone is very high. So you have that sex drive and you want to do stuff. The reason why I think a lot of people pull back, one thing I would say is don't have sex right before you're going to train, because your body releases all that dopamine. So you start to feel like, how when you have sex at night, you want to go to sleep right away. So if you're having sex right before workouts and stuff like that, it's going to make you lazy. It's going to make you feel like you just want to lay down. It's going to affect your workout. Your energy is not going to be the same. The only part where it affects your sex drive is like when you're 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks out, when the food gets super low and you're low on energy, it's going to affect anything else, even not just sex, anything else that you got going on in respect to like your work and everything else, you're going to feel it. So that part, you might feel like you don't want to do it because you're tired, but I don't think it reduces your sex drive generally. Me personally, I didn't encounter that so far. I haven't had any issues with sex drive. And I think maybe it's also because I'm natural. I think also that also plays a big role, because a lot of the PEDs and stuff that people that are enhanced, you hear stories like I have friends that are telling me they had ED issues, like erectile dysfunction, because of all the steroids and the compounds they were taking. But I think that's also one reason why I wanted to stay natural, because I had all the negative effects from friends and people who do take steroids and PEDs, and they tell you all the negative effects, and I didn't feel those things. So I'm like, okay, well, if I'm still able to enjoy life, still able to compete as a natural bodybuilder, then I'm gonna do it this way, still get to step on stage and compete and become a pro bodybuilder and not have to do all of the extra stuff that comes with it. I mean, listen, I was having fun when I was having fun even during prep. I had my days, and then the days I'm tired, I didn't even want to do none of that. So yeah, you're gonna have those days, but I don't think it affects it entirely. It's all about your approach. And one big thing is recovery. I think one of the main things that helped me is I was getting at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night. I go to bed at 11 o'clock. I was waking up at like 6. So those days I didn't have early clients, so I got 7 hours of sleep. And even if I go to bed at 11 and I'm up at 5, I get minimum 6 hours of sleep. So if you're not, and if you're a natural bodybuilder, sleep and recovery is very essential, because you're not enhanced, you don't recover as fast. So if you're not sleeping, you're gonna feel it. So make sure you're recovering properly. That's also one of the main important things, so that you could avoid injury, you could still be able to train. And one more thing that I'll add, adjust your training based on where you are in your prep. Like the early stages of my prep, I still had my strength because food was higher. Food and carbs and all of that is what fuels your energy and in the workouts and everything like that. When your body fat gets super low, your food gets low, it's gonna affect your workout. Find ways you could still train like you were training before, but make adjustments. Also be mindful of that, so you're not hurting yourself. Because if I was lifting 405 at the beginning stages of my prep, getting closer to the show 2-3 weeks out, I'm not gonna try to even lift 315, 405. There's no need doing that. I could rather reduce the weight, focus on getting more muscle contraction, time and attention. So find different ways you could still challenge yourself and not try to do too much. And then the next thing you know, you hurt yourself and you're not able to compete, or you're injured and then you can't do a lot. So those are some of the things that I noticed in my journey as a natural bodybuilder. And I'm still learning as I go. Like I said, this is the first year of me competing. I've done 2 shows so far. I'm a pro bodybuilder now. Now we're only 2.5 weeks away from my first pro show as a natural bodybuilder. Whoever wins that show qualifies to Bellwilders in November, and whoever wins Bellwilders qualifies to Olympia 2026. So technically, once we win the show coming up in Georgia, the Battle of West Georgia, September 27th, we qualify for Bellwilders. The Bellwilders will be Road to Olympia 2026. We start a whole series, because once we win that, we're going to Olympia 2026. So it gives us something to look forward to. I might do another show in December, because I wanted to do 5 shows this year, and the goal is to win all of them. This is not to sound cocky. I approach everything I do with confidence, and I know I put in the work on my side. I do my part. And sometimes when you say things and you believe in people, especially in bodybuilding, people come at you, oh, he being cocky and this and that. No, I believe in my potential, because I know I work harder and I can make it happen. If you don't believe in yourself, then why then are you competing? As a competitive bodybuilder, you need to believe in your potentials. So if I believe in my potential, I got to believe I can win, and I could go in there and win that title. So that's also one thing, you have to have a strong mindset, because you have to know sometimes you might get on the stage and you might not win, which is fine. You learn from your mistakes and then you keep pushing. And sometimes people get discouraged when they lose their first show, they lose the love for bodybuilding, but it is a competition. You win some, you lose some. Have that approach and then enjoy the journey. That comes back to what I was saying. If you're not enjoying the journey, this will not be for you, because I've known people that have been competing for 10 years and still haven't gotten their pro card, and they're still pushing for it because they have that determination and that passion and the love for the bodybuilding. So if you don't have the love for it, it's gonna make it hard for you to keep pushing, because all the mental battles, the tiredness, the countless hours of cardio, all comes down to the fact that you enjoy doing it and you enjoy the journey, learn the ups and downs. And listen, it feels damn good to be in shape and be lean and see the muscles popping and everything like that. That should at least motivate you to keep pushing. So yeah, these are some of the things I think you should know. I said natural bodybuilder. I talked about my experience and what I've learned so far. And I'm gonna keep educating you guys and keep telling you more about my journey, because it's still a journey that I've just started. We're just getting started. And I'll keep you guys posted on how everything is going. So I hope you learned something from this video. If you have a friend who is trying to compete or been talking about trying to compete as a natural bodybuilder, share this video with them. And I hope you learned something from this. Until next time, thanks for watching.